Hello, this is Gio, and this is a lovely sink. And I don't know how many times this has happened to you, but how often have you been using your sink, running water, and the water just starts backing up, and then you discover that there's a whole bunch of clogging around this pop-up stopper here. Hair and debris gets caught up in that, and you just can't get it off. You kind of wiggle this back and forth, but nothing seems to help. And a lot of these things, you can't even twist these things off and clean it out. Well, now there are some easy ways to clean out a pop-up stopper, but you just need to know how, and I will show you how today. Now I want to back up a little bit. Now I have done videos where I show you how to clean up pop-up stoppers, but this is kind of a special case. Now this is an American Standard faucet, and this is a special kind of American Standard faucet. This is actually a Speed Connect drain, and so they've kind of changed the design. And so traditionally pop-up stopper mechanics were very similar to what you're seeing right here. It kind of has a bar coming down and a little connector that goes into the drain pipe, and that was kind of one way of dealing with it. And if you're interested in knowing how to deal with these particular types of pop-up stoppers and how to clean out those stoppers, you may want to check out the little notes I have below, and I'll direct you to a link of a previous video I did, and that will kind of show you how to clean out those pop-up stoppers. And those are like 95% of the pop-up stoppers. But back to this American Standard, I'm going to go underneath the sink and I'll show you how this looks a little different from the picture I just showed you. Okay, so here we are under the sink, and just like any sink, you have the P-trap here, you have your hot and cold running lines there. But when you look at the pop-up stopper connections, it looks totally different than the image I just showed you. You have this kind of black cable line coming down from your little plunger and connected to this kind of plastic mechanical piece here. Well, this is totally different than what I just showed you, and this is all new for the American Standard Speed Connector drains, and this is the cable connector that controls your pop-up stopper. So I'll show you how to disconnect these and get your stopper up and clean out your drain. So really the first thing you need to do is just get your hand back here, and this just simply twists out. I forget which way it twists out, right or left, loosey, goosey, whatever. And okay, so I'm just twisting it out, and it just comes out as easy as that. And you see these kind of mechanical little brackets here. Now that controls, as that spins around, that controls your pop-up going up and down. Now this is a very tight fit for me, but hopefully you could see this okay. Now on the opposite side, this is just why I just unscrewed this little piece. Now you see this little tab here, and this is really one of the two things you need to remove after you remove that little threaded piece. And really all you need is a flathead screwdriver. And you just kind of go underneath this little flap and kind of just pry this little piece off. Just like that, and it kind of pops off there. So what you're left is with this little piece here that should just kind of wiggle out. Just like that. And it only comes out in one thing, and you get this little, this even hair connected to this. So this thing just comes out, and as this rotates, it brings up your pop-up stopper up and down. So that little mechanical device, the cable that attaches that, spins this around, and it lifts things up or down. But once you remove this, your pop-up should be free to go. Okay, we're back up on top, and again I remove this little L-shaped, J-shape, whatever you want to shape you call it, and this little piece right there. And so I'm just putting those aside. And so this should just, if I can get my nail down here, this should pop up. Okay, so I did get my nail in there. And if you don't have long nails, I don't have terribly long nails, but you may want to get a razor blade or something, get this out, but it just comes out nice and easy. Now this was just an example. This is not too dirty. You see a little bit of hair, but sometimes you pull these out and big wads of hair come out, and you just clean that off, throw it away. You probably want to rinse this off. I'll use a different sink for that, since this one, again, we took that cable connector out, and so if you run water now, you just get a bunch of water beneath your sink. So don't do that, but I'll rinse this off, and I'll just inspect that, make sure all the debris is gone, and then go ahead and reassemble. Now when I remove this, you make note of where this piece was. This flat part right here was facing the spigot, and so you want to replace it the same way you did when you took it out. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a tripod with me, so I'll do this with one hand, but just to show you what was going on. When this was in your pipe, this little piece right here was right in here, and as you turn this thing, it goes up and down, up and down, and so this little JL shape device, that's what it is. And so when you put this back in, you have to be careful, so you make sure that it's in properly like that, and sometimes it takes a couple of times, but I'll show you that next. Okay, so I cleaned it off. I'm ready to reinstall. Again, I want that flat piece in the back. If you reverse it, that just means it will just lay there freely and not go up and down, and you just have to, it's really not connected to any mechanics. So you want to make sure that this back part is back, and then just place it in just so it sits like that, and we'll go back to the bottom of the sink now.
Okay, so we're back into our cramped quarters, and you just take your little L-shaped device here, kind of put it in just like this, so it's kind of facing down. We'll see if that works first. Get it in there, and then kind of just set it, just so it sets all the way in. Then you take this little washer plate, make sure that the little teeth are on the outside, and you just have to push it in, and just so it snaps. And so again, you just need a flathead screwdriver just to pop this off, and that's one of the benefits of one of these speed connectors, but it does make things a little more complicated if you don't know how to put these in. Okay, and then to finish her off, you just take the little cable again, you just put her in the little thing, and then you just twist it back on until it's firm. You don't want to over tighten it. It should seal okay. So it's tight, and let's see, sometimes it takes a couple of times back and forth to make sure it works, but let's go up on top and see if the stopper works right now.
Okay, so we're up on top, and I move it up and down, and it's still not working. So I'm going to go back down, readjust that little L-shaped component to make sure it works, and see if I can readjust that.
So really all I did to adjust it was I took my screwdriver and I kind of like spinned that little piece around so the L shape faces a certain way. It's just because as this rotates, there's either a up position or down position, and I actually installed that little L piece so it was in the up position when the little plunger was in the down position. So that's really, and so it didn't have enough room to move. And so you may just have to kind of fiddle with it to make sure that everything kind of fits to each other. We'll go back up and make sure I did it right this time.
Okay, so we're back up again, and this is the pop-up is in the open position. The plunger is in a downward position, so that would open it. So when I bring it up, it closes, and everything is good. This is secure. And so when I went down to readjust, I just basically readjusted that little L thing so it turned and actually pushed this up, because what I did wrong the first time was the plunger was down and I installed the pop-up so that was also down, and so that little bracket control, the cable was in a position that it didn't allow it to turn anymore to open it up. And so when you install these, I just verified when I turned it that the pop-up was actually in the up position, this was in the down position, so they were correct. And so when I went ahead and twisted it back on, that just made it work. So just be aware of that when you do your own, and I hope this video helps you. Again, these American Standard speed connector drains aren't that common. They're becoming more common, but mostly those other versions I showed you in the former picture are the most common, and that's probably what's underneath your sink. But if you have one of these, I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.